What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Professor Anime, and welcome back to another video. In this video today, guys, I'm here to bring you all my first impressions slash review of Days, a new sports anime that just released for this summer season. Does this anime have the potential to be a good sports anime, or just a good anime in general? Let's find out. So what sports anime are we talking about right here? Well, this anime is a soccer anime, or if you live in different parts of the world, you might refer to this sport such as football. Now, when it comes to this episode in general, like how it starts off, we basically start off with two character introductions that are basically going to be the most important characters of this series, and that is Suku and Kazuma. Now, these two individuals end up transferring to the same school, unironically, and due to certain situations, they end up playing a game of soccer together. Pretty much off the bat, we see that Kazuma is the more experienced one in soccer, and Suku has no experience in the sport of soccer at all. And it's kind of weird how we saw that Kazuma was so reluctant that Suku ended up, coming to his practice match in order to help him train, basically. That's what Kazuma had him do. He basically invited Suku to help practice with him in order for a coming competition that I guess Kazuma has, or to basically get involved with the school's soccer team, so he can join that. Now, he didn't really think nothing of Suku. What really surprised Kazuma in this episode is how determined this individual is. I mean, you see Suku, like, he is running as fast as he possibly can. Obviously, he is not as fast or experienced as the other soccer players. I mean, he's a complete newbie. He's panting and sweating his ass off and everything. He even has, at one point, his toenail completely comes off. He's bleeding everywhere in his shoe, and this guy keeps on going. And we have it to where, basically, after the match, he ends up attempting to join the school's soccer team as well. And he has to do 100 laps of going back and forth down the field. And what ends up happening is that basically we have it to where he ends up passing out on the 20th set, and the coach wanted everyone to do 100, which is a lot of laps. That's just crazy. He ends up passing out on the 20th set. But then, at the end of this episode, we see him at night, still training with the coach, and he ends up doing 100 laps. Like, that's crazy. And that's what I like about Suku's character. He's kind of like your average Joe. Compared to all the rest of the other sport anime, you get that really flashy stuff, and you almost feel like the sports anime that you are watching, like Kuroko no Basket, for example, you feel as though, like, that anime has a little bit of supernatural elements into it because of how, the just balls to the wall things end up going within that anime. But when it comes to a series like this, like Days, it feels less, energetic, I would say, compared to the other sports anime that you might see from, like, Hajime no Ippo or Haikyuu, for example, Kuroko no Basket, like I mentioned before. But when it comes to a series like this, it seems like it has a more realistic take on, the whole sports anime thing, because he starts out as a character that has no experience in the field of soccer at all, and that's what I like about, characters. They start off completely weak, they are unexperienced in a certain field. However, they have a side character along that helps them out with the process in order to better themselves, and later down the line, we might end up seeing Suku eventually, become a really good soccer player. And we see in this episode that he has a lot of determination to actually become a soccer player, and Kazuma is what dragged him into all of this. At first, he thought his life was completely boring, he had no friends, he really didn't have a specific interest, but after the fact that Kazuma ended up dragging him into a practice match in soccer, like, he was really motivated and determined to actually, go into, you know, the field of soccer and actually learn more. And we see that through his determination, which is pretty sick. And he's just your average Joe, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to this, you know, when they end up going into a new sport themselves. You know, they don't really know much about it. They probably have only heard about the sport, but they never actually played it. But the more they end up playing, we get to see that, you know, along the way, they get better and better and better day by day. And we see that in the opening as well. The opening shows Suku basically running his ass off while everyone else is pretty much, you know, doing the flashy stuff, like Kazuma. You know, he is doing as many laps as he can. So, you know, when it comes to this series, like, I think it has the potential to actually be a pretty good sports anime. This episode was definitely more relaxing, if anything, because as I stated before, it's not a type of series that I think was made to be really energetic on the lines of like Haikyuu, Kuroko no Basket, or Hajime no Ippo, but while it does have a slow start, it could eventually lead up to that point, because pretty much this episode was only introducing the characters and such. But so far, I really enjoyed this episode. So yeah, Days looks like it could be a promising series. This was definitely a slow episode, but usually with first episodes you have that in general, just to get introduced to the characters and see how things will progress over time. And I definitely think that, you know, as the episodes release of Days, you know, stuff might end up becoming more hyped up. I don't know if they will get as hyped up as the lines of like Haikyuu or Kuroko no Basket, but it does look like this series could be very entertaining and very relaxing at the same time. So yeah, let me know your overall thoughts on what you thought about the first episode of Days. I recommend you at least go check this out, see if you can get into it. If you can't, there's no harm in that, but I definitely do recommend this series if you guys are looking for a pretty good sports anime, especially due to the fact that this series just started out. So yeah, definitely let me know your overall thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, if you like this video, don't forget to drop a like. It always helps out the channel. And if you want to stick up to date to my future content on this channel, please hit that red subscribe button below, and you will never miss a video from me. That about does it for this video, guys. Love you all, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.